ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the special edition on Nile TV International, which we're always keen to tackle the most prominent events. One of the most prominent events is that the activities of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, where he paid a brief fraternal visit to both the United Arab Emirates and Qatar on Thursday. And during also the visit, President al-Sisi stressed that the national security of Gulf countries is an extension to Egypt's national security. To know more about this visit, I'm so delighted to be accompanied over the phone by His Excellency Ambassador Mohamed Hegazy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency. Hello, good evening, Your Excellency. Hello. Well, I think we have a problem with connection. We'll be back with His Excellency. But speaking about the visit of His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his tour to Qatar and to also the UAE, that was during his political tour, where the head of state also affirmed Egypt's readiness to provide all support to maintain security and stability of UAE and the Gulf region. He reviewed also Egypt's efforts to de-escalate the situation. And to know more about this visit, I'm so delighted to be back on the phone with His Excellency Ambassador Mohamed Hegazy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency. Hello. Well, we'll try to call His Excellency back. And following up with the visit, also His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi noted that Cairo had conveyed a clear message to the Iranian side that the Gulf states are not part of the ongoing conflict. And the President also affirmed that Egypt continues its efforts to urge all parties to immediately return to the negotiating track, which is the only way to reach diplomatic solutions that preserve the stability and sovereignty of states and the resource of their people in accordance with the established principles of international law and the Charter of the United Nations. Also, the visit came within Egypt's full solidarity and backing for the Gulf states in light of the current regional developments, and that the Iranian attacks against them are unacceptable and unjustified and must cease immediately. The visit also affirmed Egypt's unequivalent condemnation and rejection of all severe attacks on the Gulf territories. Now we're back on the phone with His Excellency Ambassador Mohamed Hegazy, former Assistant Foreign Minister. Good evening, Your Excellency.
Good evening to you.
Well, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you and with a happy Eid for you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Well, since we are witnessing lots of activities by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi and his statements about the de-escalation in the region and the sovereignty and stability of the Arab countries, and that means another red line from Egypt as a statement. How do you see this visit when it comes to...
Thank you very much for having me, and I wish to say that in this very crucial moment, this timely visit of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, it's so important to show support to the Gulf nations. The visit to the United Arab Emirates and Qatar by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came after many calls he made for the leaders of the Gulf region to show support, as well as the tour made by Foreign Minister Badr Abdelati last week to all Gulf states, culminating by his participation yesterday in Riyadh in the Arab Islamic gathering of different leaders who expressed support to the Gulf nations and condemnation to the Iranian attacks on civilian and oil facilities in the Gulf. 60% of what Iran has targeted was civilian and industrial and oil reserve units in the Gulf countries, which we not only condemned, but we needed also to show support and the reality of the linkage between the Egyptian national security and this of the Gulf countries. I think we are talking of an Egyptian position which is based on three dimensions. The first is to show support and to reflect the meaning of the complementarity between the national security of the Gulf nations and Egypt. The second most important is the call for a core military defensive architect that can protect the security in the region. The third, which is important, is I hope that we move from this dilemma into a new reality where we call for a regional structure for peace and security in the Middle East, where the countries of the region should for the first time enjoy a structure of cooperative and security framework in which all nations feel safe and achieve its national aspiration without really moving against each other. And this is the same model Europe has adopted in Helsinki Rules in 1975. After the Declaration of Principles in Europe, the European Union built its security structure and moved further to Europe, which we are all admiring today. But again, to our region, let us start by supporting our brothers against the Iranian attack, and maybe second, to call for an Arab collective security structure where we can defend our security. As you may have learned from the past experience, that foreign bases in the Gulf nations did not support their security. To the contrary, they were victims of many strategic decisions that only served U.S. and Israel. So let us be realistic. Our security has to be maintained by ourselves. I mean, a self-reliance in terms of security is required, and I think this is the most important lesson we can learn from the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. Now we understood also that peace and security worldwide has a lot to do with the stability in the Middle East. So we are, as responsible and credible nations, Egypt, I mean, have the responsibility to carry the build-up of this security structure, which will defend our interests to the benefit of all its people and for the stability of one of the world's most strategic regions. I think this dimension of international politics is not only beneficial to countries living in the region, but to the world in general. And we have seen and witnessed the danger of letting the Middle East fall into the trap of conspiracy and unilateral actions that led to the current situation.
Well, Your Excellency, how do you see, or how do you weigh the international relations, the international diplomacy, and the efforts made by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and of course the visits by His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi?
I'm sorry, the question is not clear to me, but as I said, Egypt has three pillars of its position. One is to support the Gulf nations in this dilemma and condemn the Iranian attack on the civilian and industrial areas in these countries and the oil reserves. Second is to call upon the old dream of the creation of Arab United Force that will only protect, it will not offend anybody, it will only protect the interests of our region, and we will maybe call for a declaration of principles based on, say, the 10 points in Helsinki principles, and move further to create a peace and security structure. Those are the three pillars of the future to come, and I'm sure that we have all now understood that we need to create our own structure. As you know, the Middle East is the only place in the world that has no peace and security structure. So we can maybe look at Europe as a model and call on the international community, being the United Nations, US, UK, and the active parties in Europe who would like to lend this region and to build up its own peace and security, which will be based on a declaration of principles and create a mechanism, a secretariat, and different committees that will maybe decide on many issues, being it water, being it civilian use of nuclear facilities, as well as trade and investment, commerce, and many other cultural.
Well, Your Excellency, Ambassador Mohamed Hegazy, the former Assistant Foreign Minister, I would like to thank you so much for your fruitful call. A short break and we'll be back.